Okay, quick one. The training we. Mm, okay, if you can hear me. The training will commence shortly. Let's just wait for others. I know we're supposed to start by 7. I can see Madam Aminat, but I cannot hear your feedback. I wish you can. I know you can hear me, but it seems your audio is not. You didn't join with your audio. So if you can talk, I need us to communicate. If you can hear me, Madam Aminat, let's wait for others. We can wait for another 10 minutes, before we start. Thank you. Hello. Oh, yes. Please, you can hear me. That is Abdurrahman, right? Okay. Oluwa Shegun, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's wait for another 3 minutes, please. If nobody joins, we move ahead. We go on. We just have only 6 people to train today. So if I can get one or two more people, we'll start the training. So I'm begging us on their behalf, just if we can just start 7:10. I don't know if that would be fine. If that would be fine, then please let's wait for them. Just 3 minutes time we start. I have other people joining on YouTube and other platforms. So stay tuned. Okay, all right. Okay, I welcome us all to this wonderful short meeting. I hope you can all hear me. Mr. Abdurrahman, are you with me? Mr. Olusegun. Okay, so we are going to the training proper. I don't know if we have any prior training on web design before. Anyone among us? Mr. Abdurrahman, are you with me? Please, it's going to be interactive. Okay. Okay, Mr. Olusegun. Okay. Yeah, I'm asking, do you have any prior knowledge, any experience on web designing before? No. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be brief. I just wanted to follow. Um, when it comes to websites, we are talking of, you know, your content being hosted somewhere. So without some certain things, your website cannot come up. So since this training is all about web designing, then we are going to take it from one step to the other. So I'm sure we are familiar with domain name. When somebody tells you, what's your website, then you tell them www.shilextechnologies.com. So that's my website. Actually, they call it domain name. So that is your domain name. Domain name is your web address. When they say www, World Wide Web. So before you can actually have the website, you need to have a domain name. In fact, when it comes to domain name, it can even be an IP address. It can be a name. It's just an address. When they ask you, let me just give an instance. Okay, maybe I live in number 3 Gentleman Street. If somebody asks of my address, of course, if the person really wants to locate me, he must come to that particular address, which is number 3 Gentleman Street. So likewise, like a website, you must have an address. So it is the address, it is through the address people will be able to see what you have or where you are living. So it means it is through your domain name, the domain which is the address. That is where people can see your contents, just like people can see my house, the address itself. After the address, you come to my house, then you see different things. So that is how the website also look like. You must have a domain name. The domain name points you to, the house. So it points you to, whether you have pictures, whether you have, something to show people. That is why when you put um, www.youtube.com, then from there you can see different contents. So are you with me? Okay. So that is a domain for you. And there's something we also call hosting. You understand? Hosting, without, like I said earlier, you need an address, then before you can locate my house. So the address is my domain name. So the house itself is now my hosting. So everything I have in the house, everything is being hosted in that compound. That is, I'm just giving us a reality to explain what domain name and web hosting means. Do you understand? So your domain is your web address. I'm repeating myself. Then your hosting is where all those things are stored. So there's possibility you have an address and you have anything in the house. Do you understand? Because if you have an address and you don't have anything in the house, it's going to be empty. So if you have a web address, you must have a web host before people will be able to see your website. Are you getting me? Okay, so when we talk of web designing, then you have to look at the hosting, you have to look at getting a domain name, hosting it, and designing it. So this particular training, basic training, is not a kind of an in-depth training. But if I want to go in-depth, I will let you know. But for now, we are going to be talking of the basics because we don't have much time. So now, like I said, we are going to start with how do you get your domain name? How do you do your hosting? So now, there are so many companies that gives domain name and that are also host your website. So I can decide to either only get a domain name without hosting it. It means when people type www.shilex.com, it will not show anything because because the address is not pointing anywhere. I don't have any content. Are you with me? So now we are going to start with how do you get your domain name and your hosting? There are so many people offering that service, even in Nigeria, yeah, abroad. You can decide to host, you can decide to buy or host your website anywhere, but ensure that whoever is doing it, they are reliable. They are reliable because sometimes another thing I need to explain also is that, you know, you can have a domain name and you can have your local web host, meaning that you are you have your content within your own reach. You can have a server where you host your website, but certainly you will need a domain name to point to that same server where people can access your content. In this case, it means your content, your files, they are within your reach, and it means that it has to be powered 24 hours if you really want people to be accessing that particular server. But we know the situation in Nigeria. It might not be easy to maintain such a server. So that is why we have servers everywhere. We have where you can, a lot of services where you can host your website and you won't have issue with it. So now, we are not talking of local server here. We are talking of hosting your website, to a third party. You are not having your own server. I hope we understand that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to start with getting a domain name and hosting your website. Okay, like I said, there are so many of them. Even in Nigeria, yeah, we have a popular one we called Smart Web. Smart Web. Smart Web. We have GoDaddy International. We have Hostinga. We have Ionos. So many of them out there. But I have some that I've used before, like I've used GoDaddy, I've used SmartWeb, I've used Hostinga. They all have wonderful services. So before you go ahead to get your domain name and your web host, you have to understand the purpose why you want to get the website. Are you with me, Mr. Oluwasegun? Okay. So now I'm going to share my screen and go to smart web. So we're going to see the process because that is where you have to start from. So I'm sharing my screen now. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. All right. You can see my screen, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to like, even if I type, let me see, um, host companies, webos. Let me add webos. Let me add web host companies. Even in Nigeria, you can see, I think we have a lot of them. Google hosts, smart web. Like I said, I've used webos before. So there are so many of them. Domain king.ng. So any one of these you can decide to choose. So let's say, for example, I want to try with smart web. So I'm clicking on their website. So looking at their website, you will see a lot of services they render, like hosting, domains, website, email service, web security. Let me explain this one after the other. Like I said, I've already explained what hosting is. Hosting is like your house, you know, like your building. So inside your building, you have things inside. So that is where if somebody wants to see you, that is where your property is. That is hosting. So likewise, when it comes to web designing, when so it is where your contents are being stored, maybe the pictures you use, like all these things we are seeing here, all these pictures, they are stored inside the host. So without the hosting, you can't see all these things. This is more or less like a building or a house of the website. So like I said, the domain is like an address, so if you want to come to my house, I must give you an address. So domain will point you to my address. So likewise here, the domain points you to the host. If you don't have host, you have domain, it's more or less like you don't have a complete package. But like I said, only if you decide to host your website locally by getting a server, then you can do that on your own. So the next thing is the website. They just have the website builders. That means they can help you to design your website. These are email service. Let me quickly explain this. The email service means that you can have an email without even having a domain. Like my email is info@shilextechnologies.com. So I can have that email even without having a website. So these are services they can provide for you. And web security. Web security, yeah, I will quickly explain this. Although it's supposed to be under domain too. You will see some websites. When you go to the website, you will see HTTP, then HTTPS. HTTPS means that the website is secured, although it is not important. If you feel you don't have any special thing, maybe a payment gateway, you don't have, maybe your website is just an information website, you might not need to worry about your website being HTTP. You know, so that's why anytime you are visiting a website, they always recommend, especially once you make payments or do some certain things or put your information, ensure it is HTTPS. Like this website now, Smart Web, you can see it is HTTPS. This S means that it is secured. Meanwhile, for it to be secure like this, they paid for it. That's when they call it SSL. You know, that is part of the security, web security. They have SSL certificate, site lock scanner, code guard, backup. All these are for just your website. Do you understand? Are you with me? Okay. So, because when you are charging your customers, if you want to get a domain, you want to design a website for them, these are basic things you have to consider. You know, because if they want their website to be secured, then you need to get the SSL certificate. It goes with a different charges. You know, you see some people come and build websites with 20,000. Of course, they can do it, but the truth is they will remove a lot of features from that website. So by the time they launch the website, they will start having some issues with the website. Because why? The website is not protected. And have it in mind also that if your website is not protected, it can be hijacked from you. And if it is hijacked, then they can decide to even use your website to scam people. They can use your website to put false information. You know, so I'm not advising you should do away with the SSL. It is important you have it. And so, but it goes with a different charge. So now, take for example, I want to build a website. The first thing you do is to search whether that particular name is available. You know, that whether that address, you know, is available. Do you understand? If I want to, because so many people have websites, maybe probably they might have used the domain name, so you have to confirm, is my domain still available? So we're going to try something. Maybe I put Shilex technologies.com and I search domain. Let's see whether it's going to bring anything, but I know this is a registered domain. It should say it's not available. Okay, see, the domain you entered is already registered with us. You will need to cancel it prior to place a new order. So it means it's not available. So let's just say, for example, I want to, you know, this is .com. There are still some of them are available. Just a moment. Coming. So, okay. Okay, so you can I can decide, and okay, let me quickly explain this when it comes to the domain name. When it comes to domain name also, you have to understand that it has identity. Identity in the sense that depending on what you want to use it for, if you're an organization, then you need to choose something like .org. If it is a store, you can put .store. If it is a Nigerian website, you want it to look Nigeria, then you can go for .ng, .com.ng. So all these are site identity. You can use any one you want, but their prices varies. If you can see on the screen, The .com is not available anywhere, which is commercial. Of course, Shilex Technology is commercial. Then .ng is available. So the domain price here is 5,500 for .ng. We have .com, .ng. This one is more expensive, 11,000, and others like that. So take for example, I want to choose .ng. I will click add. I'm going to add it. So I'm not going to check out now because I need to add a web host. You can see now, if I should check out, I will only have an address. I don't have anything to put in that house. So for me to put something to design my website, then I need to add a web host, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so for you to add a web host, you click explore packages now. Let's see what they have, because that one to have different features. They have standard, they have starter, premium package, business package, corporate package. So all this is determined by your budget or what you want to use the website for. Let me give you an example. Something like Jamb, maybe a Jamb website where a lot of people visit regularly will require a very big bandwidth and in fact enough space. That is why sometimes you will see some website will come online. In fact, they will tell you the moment it come online, the thing crashed. It crashed because the hosting they took for that website cannot accommodate the number of people coming in. Are you with me? Hello? Okay, it cannot accommodate. So when you are hosting, then it must be, okay, take for example, let me say Jumia, Konga, all these e-commerce websites that people visit regularly. You can't expect them to go for something less. They must go for a very big one, probably something like this corporate package, because it has unlimited web space, bandwidth unlimited, so it can accommodate a lot of people. Do you understand? Then we have other affordable package like business package, premium package, starter package, and standard package. Okay, at this point, I want to ask, do you have any question before I proceed? Okay, no. Okay, so now we have standard package. If you see, it's just 10 gigabyte web space, 60 gigabyte monthly, bandwidth unlimited. You can see, so if they say 10 gig web space, it means that whatever content you want to put on the website cannot be more than 10 gig. Take for example, you want to build a website where you want to upload music. People should go there and be able to download music. Then you should know that if you're uploading the music, by the time you get to 10 gig, you won't be able to upload more because that's what it can take. And this one is 30 gig. Everything is just based on your budget. Whatever your budget is, you go for it. Like me now, let's say for example my company, Shilex Technology, if I really want to do anyone, I can do this standard package. Because why? My website is just for information. It's just for people to go there and get information. I'm not selling on the website. I don't do any big thing. It's just for people to go there and see information of what we do. So take for example, I want to go for the standard package. I will order now. I will order it. Then it's telling me that you remember we choose a domain name before .ng, so I can use it. We'll come back to other ones of how to transfer domain, because this is a smart web. I can decide after I register my domain with smart web and move it to another company if I'm not satisfied with their service. So these are things we will still look at in the course of the training. So now I'm going to use this. So it's verifying my domain. Okay. So these are other. So now I'm already having the hosting, um, setup fee, other things. But let's look at SAT web security. Like I said, these are other things you can add to your hosting or to your domain name. This site log provide range of features designed to protect both your website and your business reputation. You can see that it goes with prices. If you want it, you go for it. If you don't want it, you leave it. Powerful website builder. Of course, if you these are the things you must know. They have the free, they have the starter. You can pay for it. If you don't want to, leave it. Code guide, website backup, your website against data loss. So like this one, if you want it, that's why I said when you are charging your customer for web designing, to design their website, you must put all these things to consideration. You know, if they want their website to have a backup, so that maybe when the website crashes, you will have a backup somewhere, then you can go for code guard website and pay for the service. But if you don't want, you leave it. Then this is another market geos SEO to monitor the traffic on your website, how many people visit, are you making progress. If you want it, you add it. It goes with its own charges. So now this is the one of the SSL. This is where anytime you visit a website, it has HTTPS instead of HTTP. So the S there, you know, this is where you buy it. If you choose none, it means that your domain name is not secured. You know, because all the S itself, you are now seeing it from the back end now. All the S itself still have categories. It still have categories. So if my own is HTTPS www.shilextechnology.com and you see HTTPS, I can decide to choose the rapid SSL. Meanwhile, there are so many of them. You can imagine that there's another one that is about how much is this? This almost, if I'm not mistaken, how much is this? 100,000. You see? So this is just to protect your website too. Eh? It's 100,000, right? Am I correct? This thing looks like 1 million. No? It looks like 1,005,500. So you can imagine, just to protect a website, you are paying 1 million naira per year. So when you see some website or they charge, some people charge you, there must be a reason why they charge you for that website. I welcome Madam Ganeyat. Thank you for joining us, although you came late. We've not gone far. We are just going through the process of how to get your domain and your hosting. So we are using this particular, Ms. Ganeyat have gone now. Okay, so let's continue now. Mr. Oluwasegun, you are with me, right? So now, me, this is just a sample. I don't have that kind of money. If I want to do it, I will just go for the rapid SSL so that at least my website will have S so that it can be secured. Do you understand? So these are spam expert email security. This protects your emails. It protects your emails so that you don't receive unnecessary emails, and it goes with charges also. You can see there are charges. But do you know that when you have your hosting, you have your domain and you have your hosting, then you can decide to create emails. I will show you how to do that. So this is spam expert email security to protect your emails, whether all these bad people want to send you some scam emails, it will filter it and send it back. So professional email, if you want a professional email, then you can also go for any of this. But me, I don't want to. I don't want. So now, our total package now is 19,800 something, almost 20,000 for this, for what we have chosen now. So let's reveal it again. Our domain, okay, this is standard. This our, we are still on the web host. So let me continue. So I think basically it will tell me to pay. Okay, domain configuration, email forwarding, DNS management. All this DNS management has to do with basically if you are doing a local host, but I don't need it. Email forwarding, you can add it. Of course, it's free. You can add them. They said it's free. You continue. They are free service. I continue. So I'm not going to buy you. I'm only giving us an example. Okay, so now this the total of what we had. The starter package 9,000 annually. SSL certificate that will make your website to have S secured 9,500 annually. Then our domain is 5,500. So everything comes down to 25,800. So if I paid this money now, I will be entitled to a website and a hosting. Like I said earlier, without if you have a domain without hosting, it's just like you have an address without a house, or you have a building without anything inside. Because your building is like your domain name, your website. Then your hosting are the things you put inside. So if you buy a domain without buying a hosting, you are just buying an empty building. That is how it works. So I can check out and pay. I think it will ask me to register. It will ask me to register. Okay. Just fill all the information for you to be able to pay. But when you pay, when you fill the information you pay, then they will send you all the informations which I'm going to show us, the necessary information we will get. Are you with me? For this hosting now, I mean for this procedure we went to, how to get your domain and your hosting, is there any question? Any question so far? Mr. Olusegun? Mr. Abdurrahman? Ms. Ganiyat, any question? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So by the time you check, you paid, then let's assume you have paid because I want to now log in because I've done it before. I've paid, so I'm going to now log in because all this information is to enable you to log in. Then you pay, then you can now log in and start. You will now see your account. So let me log in now. I'm going to log in with my own account, the one I just paid for, not this one, another one. Olashile.akini. I'm logging in now. I'm going to show us the services we got, how it's going to be. Okay, now, so I'm supposed to have a domain here. Is it this place? Okay, that means it's not here. It's not here. Let me log out. It's not here. Let me log in another one. I'm logging in again. Okay, let me use shileforjoy@gmail.com. Log in. It's as if maybe you have paid. Um, okay, exceeding grace. I'm not sure. There's one I paid for. I don't want. That's what I want to use for us. Let me check if it's this domain. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is an account where I paid for domain. Some of them have expired. Some of them are pending payments. So, but the one that is this where you can now start managing your website. You can create email. You can start designing your website. So this is the one that is active, faithcontendersinternational.org. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to go to settings. But actually, let me just explain this. When you register for a domain name, they will definitely send you information apart from you logging in to their website. You know, we bought it from those websites. They will send you a different information on how you can log into that website. I mean, the back end where you can start making use of the website. So, but in this case, I did not receive the email. I did not receive the information. So that is for domain. This is for domain. I'm going to let me go to um, services, my services open. Then I go to this my hosting. I click on, you can see standard package. I pay 9,000 annually. I click on it. It's opening. So from here, I want to start managing with the website, creating email, and then start designing the website itself. So now the cPanel login. Let me quickly explain this too. Log into cPanel. cPanel is more or less like your control board where you do virtually everything. It is from there you know it's more or less like, how can I explain? If before you can these are your back end. This is where you do most of the things back end before people can see in the front. If you want people to see your website, this you log into your, you start with your cPanel to manage your domain, to manage your hosting. So let me log into cPanel. I'm going to log in here. It will log in automatically because why? I'm accessing from the people I bought it from. Meanwhile, they're supposed to forward some information to you where you can log in to the cPanel without even going through their own website. I can give you an instance. Maybe like I just type this brighttvstreaming.org/cPanel. Normally, in most cases, this is how people access cPanel. The domain name slash cPanel. That is like a backend. The domain name slash cPanel. Then, in the information they will send to you after you make payment for that domain and the hosting, they will give you the username and password. So you don't need to go through that stress of going through the company. You just, as far as they have confirmed your payment, they will send you details. So put the domain name slash cPanel. But if you don't have a hosting, you cannot access cPanel. cPanel is for those that paid for hosting. So I can decide to log in here. I'm going to enter the backend of Bright TV Streaming. But we are not working with Bright TV Streaming. We are working with this now. So this is for the faithcontenders.org, the one I just opened. So now you can decide to create an email account. You can decide to build a website. So let's start from email. We want to create emails because when you have a domain, you are entitled to create emails under that same URL, under that same domain. Take for example, maybe this faithcontendersinternational.org. You can have info@faithcontendersinternational.org. You can have contact us at faith, the name of the person, or Olashile at Faith Contenders. And you know, sometimes when people see this particular email, they always feel that these people are more official. Instead of using olashile@yahoo.com, olashile@gmail.com. Then when you use this kind of email, you know, people really respect it more. You know, so now we are going to create one. We are going to start with the email before we move to the website. So now you say create an email account. You click on it. You click on it. Then you create an email. Let's say, for example, info@faithcontenders.org. You can set password now. You can decide to put your own password or you generate a password. You know, so when you generate like that, then you create nothing much. You create. So I now have email info@faithcontendersinternational.org, and then I gave this 1 gig. I can decide to change the space. If I don't have much space on my hosting, I can decide to reduce email space I assign to myself. Maybe it's a company, my secretary, the manager. You have to create emails for them. You have to look at, number one, you look at the space you have. You know, when we are checking the hosting the last time, there are categories. If the one you choose is not much, you now went and carried the whole space for email, you know it will affect your website. So when you are giving email, you assign the proper size so that when it's 1 gig, this email is full. Probably the person needs to delete. The person needs to delete so that you can receive more email. Let me create another email. Let me say contact us. That is contact us at faithcontenders.org. I'm going to generate password. I'm going to edit setting. This is where you can assign space size. I can decide to give it 500 MB or you make it unlimited. Unlimited means that you do not assign space for that person. The person will continue to receive and receive and receive email, just like your Yahoo, your Gmail. Even Gmail they have restriction. At a point, your Gmail can be full, but Yahoo, I think, is unlimited. You continue to receive email, so that is unlimited. But in this case, I'm assigning 500 MB megabyte for this person. Great. So that is created now. Where is it? Contact us at Faith. So we've been able to create email. So this is how to create email under your hosting. So with this now, people can send email to this particular, which I'm going to test. Take for example, I want to send email to this. Let me check whether it's going to receive. I'm going to send email now. How do I log in? Are you with me? Are you with me? Oh? All right, thank you. Um, okay, let me see if I can log in because I want to test the email now. I want to send email. We're unable to process this time. Please try 1 hour time. Okay, let me use Gmail. I'm going to use Gmail to send email to one of these email. Then we're going to check. So this is applicable to a company also. When you have your hosting and your domain, you are entitled to emails. People can send you emails. So those emails you create. And one beautiful thing also is that you can forward those emails. I will come back to that. Let me quickly send this first. Compose. So I'm going to send email to info@faithcontendersinternational.org. So I'm going to put test, test, test again. Then I send. So now let's go and check the email if it's there, the email I just sent. So I'm going back there. Where is it? So I sent it here. Let me check email. If we receive it, okay, open. Another thing I'm going to teach us is how you can put this particular email in Outlook, because most companies they use Outlook. You understand? They use Outlook. The email has not come. These are just configuration setting. The email has not come. Why? I hope I type it properly. Let me check. Sent. That's info@faithcontendersinternational.org. I think it's correct. So I'm supposed to receive it. Okay, it has come. So this is the email. So now we've been able to also cover how to create an email through your web hosting. If you are not clear, I can repeat myself. So now, another thing you need to understand here is that I access the email through the back end. Normally, you can put it on Outlook or you put it on your phone. Because this is quite different from Yahoo, it's different from Gmail. This is more or less like an official email. So most times you need to put it in Outlook, because you cannot just be logging into your cPanel then begin to access this. But there are some apps you can have on your phone, then you put the email, then you can be receiving it. Another thing we can do also is, if you don't want to be coming to this your particular email, you can forward it to any of your either email, maybe Yahoo, Gmail, so that any email that comes here, you receive a copy on your Gmail, on your Yahoo. Do you understand? So that's how to create an email under your cPanel. So I'm going back now. I believe we get that. You can create as much email you want. I'm going back now to the cPanel. So we've been able to create email. This one is forwarders. That's the one I tell you. You can forward your email to, take for example, add forwarder. It's a forwarder address. Let me put what the wait, okay, address to follow. Sorry, info at Faith Contenders, forward to email address shilex@yahoo.com. By the time I had this, any emails that comes to info at faithcontenders.international.org will come to my email. So I may not really need to log into info this particular email before I can see the emails that comes there. I hope I'm clear. I'm going back again. That is the two things I'm going to show us, because we are not here for email, but it's important you know them. Okay, so we are through with email. So now let's go back to designing the website now. At this junction, is there any question? We've been able to cover domain, web host, now cPanel to email to forwarding. Any questions so far? Miss Ganiya, Mr. Olusegun, Mr. Abdurrahman? No. Okay. That means you are getting it. Okay. So I go back to, so now for you to design your website, number one, you can decide to design it using code. What I mean is, you want to really take your own time and start coding. HTML, CSS, you begin to code to design your website. But first and foremost, you have to know that websites is made up of, some certain things, some certain content, like pictures, videos, text, tables, shapes, so many things is what make up your website. It's just like when you have a building, you have a kitchen, you have a toilet, you have this. Even in the parlor itself, you have so many things. That is how website is. It has so many things. And we have people we call, how do they call it? These people that decorate house. I don't know their name. They have, you know, they will design your house for you. That is web designing also. And interior decorators. Thank you, ma. So you are more or less like an interior decorator. Now, when you want to design a website, you must picture what you want to achieve, how you want to place this, how you want to place this, how you want the website to look like. Very, very important. And sometimes I will also say website goes with graphics. It is an added advantage if you have a web, a graphics design knowledge. It can easily help you, just like an interior decorator. Probably, maybe they have experience of civil engineering, They know decoration. They know about decoration. So likewise, a website is good. You have a graphical knowledge because the graphics part of it makes you to be able to place the picture where it's supposed to be, the text where it's supposed to be, the kind of font style to use, and so many other things. Just a moment. Coming. Just a moment, please. Return to. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Sorry, just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, sorry for the Sorry for the interruption. Okay, where is okay? We are good to go. Okay, I'm sharing the screen back now. Hey, just a moment again with this call. I'm sorry. We are good to go now. Okay, this is disturbing me. It's disturbing me. Why? Show chat preview. You're not making me to click what I want. So, I want to go back to our C panel. Okay. Okay, so we'll go to the web designing. Later, we can talk of the graphics. So, in the course of designing something, then we can begin to look at the graphical part of it. Okay, so we have different web designing third party, let me say, websites or companies. You know, people that have a ready made website that you can work with. Like I said, you can decide to do it yourself, but that will take you a lot of time to do. But if you can, it's good. But if you cannot, there are people, there are third party companies who you can use and they are recognized. In fact, most of the web hosts, they have included them on their website. Take for example, this particular hosting company now, they have incorporated WordPress into their hosting package. So it means you can design your website using WordPress, using Joomla. So many of them. I think I saw one earlier, Weebly or something like that. So there are so many of them, but the most popular one is this WordPress. So WordPress is more or less like a ready-made, you know, template for you to design any website, be it religious, be it e-commerce, be it education, oil and gas. So they have so many templates you can use to design a website. Are you with me? In those days, when I was doing my computer studies so many years back, when it wasn't like this, we know that you have to use code. There's no shortcut to it. You have to write code in order to achieve your website. But in in today world, you don't need to go through that stress. There are people who have already, done a template, you manipulate it, your website start running. Meanwhile, this is not applicable to all websites. This is not applicable to all websites. You know, if take for example, people like Konga, people like Jumia, some 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 sensitive websites, you cannot use WordPress, because if you use WordPress, you have already created a loophole for people to penetrate into that website, unless you are very sure of the plugins or the things you are using with the website. So this WordPress are like let me say interior decorator, like Miss Ganea said, interior decorator. They already have a ready-made. All you just need is to be changing the information. They already built a template for you. So you just build your website on those templates. That is what WordPress do. But there are people who design afresh. But along the line, we can come to that, designing afresh. But what we'll be looking at today is WordPress. So now, if you now want to build your website, I want to rephrase it. Number one, you do your domain name, you get your domain name, you do your hosting, then you log into your cPanel. Then we are now going to WordPress in order to start building on our website. Because if you just register a website without putting anything on it, it will just be blank. It will be pointing that maybe it cannot find server. It is only because you don't have an hosting where it is being hosted. So now we want to put a content of where when people goes there they can see the website. So we are going to be using WordPress. So you click WordPress. So by clicking WordPress, then you can decide. So let's install the WordPress now. You're going to install it. I'm installing it straight on the website. This directory means a folder you want to install it, but I'm not putting it in there for which I think I have ready-made on this particular website. If not, it's going to wipe off the one I have there. Let me check. Let me go back again. Sorry, WordPress. I want to be sure I don't have any. Let me see. Okay, I have the one I've done before. Okay, I'm going to. How do I do? Because I'm already designed this website. and anything I do now will likely overwrite it. Okay, I'm going to use another folder. Install now. WP. You mean why this WP? Let me quickly explain this WP. WP is more or less like a folder. If you are familiar with a computer, it means that this particular one I'm installing now, if people want to access it, they will have to put faithcontenders.org/WP before they can see this particular website. This is the version 6.11. This is the latest. My blog, that means the name of your website, Shilex Technologies. You fill this basic information. Welcome to Shilex Technologies. So you can decide to put an admin, you put a password. I will explain this. Maybe let me see website, password. Sorry, I have to hide it. Okay, so I have put the password. You see this admin account, it will enable you to be able to log into your WordPress. Because now, if you remember, for us to access this WordPress, we went through the cPanel. But now, the moment you create an account with WordPress, you don't need to go through your cPanel again. You can go through straight through the WordPress. I will show you how to do that. So you don't need to go through all this process of either going to your where you bought the domain and hosting, then to your cPanel to the WordPress. No, all you just need to do is your domain slash something. Then you can now put your email and password you use for your WordPress. So now I'm going to remember the username is admin, the password is whatever I typed. I've already on the site name, Shilex Technology site description, so every other information should remain. So this theme is how your website is going to look. Like I said, theme are more or less like a ready-made template. So if you wish to use any of these templates, you can choose any one of them and use them. I'm going to be using this. Let me see how it looks like. This is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. So I think let me choose it. Let me choose oh, I've gone back too much. Let me minimize this. Sorry. I'm going to start again. Install now. WP is there. Sorry. Shilex Technologies. Welcome to Shilex Technologies. Okay, so now admin. So I'm going to put a password. Okay. Okay. All right. So okay. This install now. Let me save this. Okay, so I've been able to install my WordPress. Then I can start building my website. That is this faithcontendancinternational.org. So if somebody wants to access the website, they can go to this link. Where is it? Uh, this thing, I can add ID. Okay, so this is. I think you choose the first one. The first. So if anybody goes to your website, this is what they're going to see. So you will now have to start building it. But I'm going to change the theme to something else. So now I'm going to show us how to now log in next time to your WordPress. How to log into your WordPress, because you don't need to go through your cPanel again. This is the URL you're going to use. Next time you want to log into the back end of your website, enter. So it's asking me to log in. You put the username, then you put the password, whatever password you use. So this is where you will be, most often this is where you'll be going, in order to access the back end of your website. Because now we have nothing to do with cPanel again. We've been able to hand over our website to WordPress. So WordPress is the one helping us to design the website. So you have nothing to do with your cPanel again. So now I log in. So this is my cPanel for Faith Containers /WP, not the main website. Because if I go to the main website, it's something else that is there. It will not overwrite it. This, because I'm still designing it. So this is what you see there on the main website. So it has not, but if you check the other one, that one is /WP. So it will not disturb that one. Okay, where is my, so this is my, like a backend, like a dashboard to start running your website. First and foremost, anytime you just register the domain and the web host, the first thing you want to do is to put an information on the website, like we are under construction or coming soon. So because you can imagine that I just built a website and people are saying this, it will be very wrong. So whenever you just register your domain and your hosting, the first information you put is coming soon. So people can even go to that website, but anytime they typed, what will come out is coming soon. Probably we are under construction. So WordPress will help you to do that. So how do we do that? We call it a plugin. It is a plugin under the WordPress. If you click plugin, then I can add new plugin. Then I can search, maybe coming soon. Coming soon. It's a plugin under the WordPress. Let me see. They have different companies that they will give you. Oh, where will I put this one? Okay, we have this. So there are different websites you can choose from that can help you to put a coming soon on your website. Let me see something coming soon under construction. So let me install this one. Installing. You install it first, then you activate it. So when I activate it like that, where is it? Coming soon. Okay, so let me check whether it's applied now, /WAP. Let me see what is showing. Oh, it's still showing the, oh, it might show. Let me try from another browser. Fates contenders international.org/WAP. Oh, it's still showing. So let me check something is wrong. Coming soon, where is it? Coming soon, WP. Let me see it here. This is where you can now add more features. I'm coming. I hope this is fine because not all of these plugins are okay. That's why I said you need to be very, very careful when you are using plugins. Hey, there's an issue here. My YouTube, I didn't. I didn't share my screen. They are just watching. Let me just stop it.